All right, so we're gonna discuss about Parasha's Tazria, Tazria for Ashkenaz, and we're gonna see how it connects and prepares us for Passover also. So we have a few questions. We'll start with questions, the path to freedom questions. First question is, we see at the beginning of the Parasha Tazria, what does it say? It say, דבר, וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, דבר בן ישראל לאמור, אישה כי תזריע וילדה זכר, ותמה 7 ימים, כי מי נידס דוסה תטמא. Very strange. It says that when a woman conceives and gives birth, she's going to be tameh for 7 days, just like when she has her periods. And if it's a man, it's for a boy, it's going to be 7 days. If it's for a girl, for 14 days. Though already right away, there's a very strange question. First of all, what does that mean that she's tameh? Usually people translate as impure, but we're going to see that tameh doesn't mean really impure. The true word of tameh, the true definition means. By the way, in Judaism, there's no such a thing as pure, impure. That's not what tameh means. Tameh, tuma, comes from closed off, blockaged, not connected. So someone who is tameh, it's not that it's impure, impure. It's not about that. It's about I'm closed off. I have a blockage. I'm not connected. I feel limited. I have my wireless connection is limited, basically. But still the question remains, I don't understand. Okay, I understand, okay, maybe when the woman has her period, or when the man has is a zav, or different things, and we touch a dead body or something, okay, it makes sense where we become so closed off and blocked tameh. But the woman now, she is giving birth, and birth is a moment of tremendous life and joy, and why that moment she becomes tameh? It's very, very, very strange. That's the first main question. Also, if we look, and it's connected to the answer to that, we look at the beginning of creation, and where the woman, as we always say, we understand something, we have to always go back to Gan Eden. What happened in Gan Eden? It says the man, woman, and the snake were cursed, and here the woman was cursed. And what happened? El haisha amar arbe itzvunech veheronech be'etzev teldi vanim. So, one curse, the way it's usually translated is that he said to the women, I will greatly increase your suffering and your childbearing. In pain you shall bear children. The problem with that is that it doesn't say in pain. Rashi translates with the pain, but really the word that's there for the curse is itzvoner and be'etzev, which means sadness. With sadness you will give birth. So obviously what we're more used to is the pain, suffering, and so why does say that the woman gives birth and has sadness? Now, another question connected directly to that is, why does a woman feel pain and feel like she's gonna die? Why did Hashem made it that when a woman gives birth, it's so painful, and it's as we know in the past, the women, some women were dying from giving birth. Why God made it is such such a challenge to actually give birth, something that is so living? It should be the opposite. So let's try to understand a little bit what's going on here. The nature of the world, Mother Nature, the world, universe, doesn't like life. If you really look at the way the world works and the laws of science, we see that everything in this world dies. And that's why even for us as human beings, it's hard to understand that, oh yeah, we have a soul, we're eternal. We don't understand it. What it means God is eternal. We don't understand. We try to understand, okay, Big Bang beginning and big dead end, supernova, right? So the way scientists understand the universe, this is a birth of something, and then it dies, and then one day the universe is gonna exist, and there's gonna be a supernova, and the sun is gonna blow up, and then everything disappear, black hole, whatever, and everything disappears, everything dies. That's the way. Nature doesn't stay here forever. It is a atrophy of the nature, and therefore nature by itself, the physical world, the material world, doesn't like to give life. It leads from life to death. And it's very interesting because we find a bit that understanding about what life is all about is in a Gemara that speaks, I think it's in Eruvin, and the Gemara says there's an argument between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. The argument is it better for men to be created or not? Like, very strange argument. Well, we have to think, is it better to be created or not? If God created, it must be better. And the Gemara says for 3 years, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel argued. Beis Shammai says better not to be created. Beis Hillel says better to be created for men. At the end, although most of the time we had to follow Beis Hillel, this time, one of the few times that Beis Hillel agreed completely with Beis Shammai is that time where Beis Hillel said it's better not to be created. I agree with you, Beis Shammai. After 3 years of reflection on that learning. So what is he saying? It means that, so if we want to understand what does life mean, what is life, what is real life according to the Torah, and what is freedom. Okay, the life is going to lead us to freedom, because if there's no freedom, there's no life. So where does life appears in the Torah? 2 places. The first 2 times, many places, but the 2 places where we start, the first 2 places he speaks about it. It says that God make Etz HaChaim, make a tree of life, and it speaks about that God blew into man a soul, and it became alive in that body, a soul of life, Nishmas Chaim. So the soul, I understand, but more interesting, it says that the soul became alive, so to speak. It became Nishmas Chaim when it was put into the body. So, because it says he didn't blew a soul of life, a soul of life he blew in there. He said, and he blew in there, and the soul of life. So meaning that the soul became life, so to speak, once in the body. Because now the soul, the spiritual, the divine peace became encountered, imprisoned, at least dressed up in the physical thing. Now it became alive, as if the only way to be alive is to be confronted with the body. And the tree, what's a tree? A tree is something that is trying to fight the whole ground, meaning you put a seed and it goes and grows and go beyond, against gravity, and it gives branches, leaves, and fruits, and then the fruits are just taken by people, and he doesn't get anything in return. The whole work of the tree it feels like it's for nothing, it's just giving. So here we have 2 understandings of life. Life is about giving without anything in return, just the power of fighting to give. And the first other thing that we said about that the soul now is put in a physical environment, and now because it's confronted with it, is alive. So we know, we were reading Hallel not too long ago, when it says, Lo hamisim yehalelu ka, that the dead people don't sing praise God. Obviously the people don't praise God. What does that mean? That dead people, that they're people who are alive, but really they're dead men walking. So what walking dead? Well, so what does that mean? It means that sometimes you exist, meaning you breathe, you exist, but you're not alive. Existing and being alive is 2 different things. Existing is like you're not moving, you're just here, You're just here to be. The American dream. You don't want to do anything. You just want to relax and don't do anything and be like a dead person on the beach chair and suntan. That's like that. American dream, don't do nothing. The Jewish dream is just the opposite. The Jewish dream is to be fighting all what the world gives you. You want to know what a Jew is? A Jew is someone who is ready to fight for his freedom at first. And that was the whole thing with Avram. He was fighting the entire world. He was going against an entire society that teaches you this is the way to be. Egypt, Mitzrayim, is a world, a matrix that's conditioning you. It's a system. It tells you this is how you have to be. This is how you're going to enjoy. This is just follow your pleasure. It's a way of life. And what's happening is that we are be like little sheep following the little rams, a flock, following what society leads you to. And that doesn't make you fight life, fight the physical. As a soul, we are in the body. If we want to be free, if I just follow my body, I'm like a sheep. And that's why in Egypt, the way to get rid of Egypt, to Passover, is to kill the ram. Because if you don't kill the ram, then you're going to end up like that and follow the flock. And you're not free. How do we know a fish is truly alive in a river? Because he's swimming upstream. You want to be alive in this world, you have to swim upstream. The Esh Kodesh mentioned that. Swimming against public opinions. If you just follow the public opinions, you're going to be swallowed up. So you want to be alive? If you feel home in America, in another country than Israel, what are you gonna do when Moshiach comes? You know that people stay in Egypt. It's not comfortable to move. When does real life comes? When your comfort zone stops. That's when real life starts. When your soul, your energy start fighting the physical. Why does a woman scream and like it feels almost like she's dying when she gives a baby? Because the moment when you're going to bring the most life, you're going to fight about all of your nature. The birth of spirituality, the birth of a new you, it's painful. It goes through a whole process. Nature fights against you. It's when you try to do push-ups and you try to make muscle and bodybuilding, when do you know it's working and is life going into your muscle and it's growing? When it starts hurting. If there's nothing hurting, you know nothing's happening. So we have to understand it's a very deep process. Why in the morning I don't want to wake up? I wake up and say, oh no, I want to sleep again. I want to be more dead. I just want to stay in bed. Because my nature, the body, the physical world, materiality, goes against life itself. So why did Hashem do it that way? Why Hashem did it that He goes against us? What's the point? That's exactly the point. Hashem made a system where to be alive, you have to go against your fear. So it puts you in a body that is fighting you, whatever we call Yetzirah, or evil inclination, or physical, is fighting against you. And your nature, your soul wants to be alive, so it's fighting and it's painful to fight against it. It feels like your body is dying and hurting on that. Just like a woman giving birth. And as we said, the real way to be alive, besides fighting that whole thing, is to be giving. In this world, everything tells you, take. And the real life, the real freedom, is to be a giver, to be able to give without anything in return. I just want to give for the sake of giving because I love Matanas Chinam. Rabbi Shimshon Pincus say, you know what's the greatest singular, the greatest thing in the world? Is the greatest treasure. Moshe Rabbeinu went to heaven, asked Hashem, he saw the treasures in Hashem's rooms. He has different rooms for treasure what he wants to give. What was the greatest room of treasure? Matanas Chinam. For the people who give freely just for the sake of giving. Well, you're in a tree, you make a fruit, you just give and you don't have anything in return. Yeah, that's real life. That's real love. So what happens? Hashem, why did you create it then like that we want to take? Wait. That's exactly the point. You want to be alive, you want to be a giver, God is going to give you a body that just want to take. A physical world that just want to take. And it's trying to take you. And as Pharaoh tries to to make sure that we have what we need, so we stay here. That society tries to make you a consumer. Take, buy, consume, and just die. So basically, so we want to be alive. We want to go out of Egypt. We want to go out of America. We want to go out of the countries of the world, of the society, of our human nature, our etc. There's a battle to fight. Lech lecha. You have to fight the fight that Abraham did. The whole world was going against him. Your whole self. By the way, so now we understand a bit why the woman it's sadness. The curse is sadness, because when you fight, and there's a death. When you fight, there's a death of the body. The body, there's four evil inclination, four roots, and the one corresponding to the body is earth, and the physical is sadness and depression, and that leads to death. When you feel something dying in you, which is the body that is being fought by the soul, you feel a sadness, and that's why we have, I believe, the root of the baby blues. Why do women feel usually after they give birth, few weeks or months after, they have a baby blues? Because even though they gave life to something so beautiful, there was a kind of death of the physical, because there was so much life coming from it. So that helps us understand a little bit what we're here for. We want to be tahor. We want to break the blockage. We want to break the blockage of life, to be tamez, the blockage of life, the physical world that prevents you from expanding, from giving, from being a giver, a lover. And what's a real man? A real man is someone who say, I'm here for the world, I live for others. That's being alive, like a tree. You know, that was the first sin of the tree. The trees didn't want to produce fruits that taste like the trunk. The trunk that tastes like the fruit, because otherwise they said, oh, people are gonna eat the trunk, and they're gonna eat everything, and it'll be nothing. We'll be worthless. But so the Hashem wanted it to be like that. He said, you don't understand. Look at me, Hashem. People, I make a world, I make everything. Everybody takes from me. Am I saying anything? Everything is here for us to be given, but we have to become like Hashem. We have to be complete givers. That's the greatest thing that keeps us that makes us feel alive. Why people like giving? Because it's a pleasure in giving. It makes us feel alive. But there's a physical nature where, no, I give. Does he deserve it or not? I want to keep it. The nature fighting against that. So that's basically why we have Passover. Passover, it's a moment where for 7 days. 7 days, again, 7 days of Tuma, 7 days, there's a death of the old self. For 7 days, we destroy the chametz. The chametz is not the external thing that we think, that all the physicality, and we try to kill that during 18 minutes, right? Oh, let me finish the thought. 7 days, we try, it's like a death, we're mourning the old self. We try to kill the old self, so to go in a new self. So, for 18 minutes, we don't let the dough, the water and the flour, which is the essence of who we are, we don't let it become chametz, meaning we don't let it follow the natural flow of nature. We are, so to speak, killing the ram. At every step, we make sure that it doesn't grow, and we make holes in it, and we control absolutely every part of it, so that it's not something that just happen, because if it just happen, it's going to be like nature is going to die. No, we control everything. And therefore that's why it's 18 minutes. 18 is chai. We want to stay alive. You want to be connected to Etz HaChaim, to a soul of life. You're going to have to fight every step of the way, all of nature, all the natural way how things works. So we have to become the opposite of nature, so to speak. But it doesn't mean we have to destroy nature and hate nature. It means we have to be one with it, but our soul has to elevate it. And to elevate it and to bring it life, we have to know that it's going to be through a fight for giving out of love completely without anything in return, and fighting a nature that just wants you to not do things, just to follow, to be lazy and to be sad and to be dead and to be just to follow life. So this is this is the main idea of Tazria, or how it prepares us for Passover. And the last thing we'll say is that this is why a man and a woman needs to get married. Because who do you get married with? You get married with someone who is the exact opposite. If you want to be a real man, you'll be confronted with someone who is a kenegdo. She's your helper by being opposite you, because that's the whole life is about. Oh, I'm very patient. Oh, she's not patient at all. Oh, I'm very unorganized. Oh, she's very organized. Oh, why is it the opposite? Why is I'm marrying someone? There's always some points that are in common, but the rest is opposite. Why is it opposite that she's exactly the opposite? Because this is what's gonna make you be alive and one and give and fight to be one with the other, even though it's the opposite. You're fighting the physical. Man and woman is always a metaphor for spiritual and physical. So the woman is the soul, the man is the body, or vice versa, depending on according to who. The soul, and there's a clash of body and soul, and that's life. And that's what happened when a man and woman come together and they force that unity. What happened? A baby comes out. The greatest power, the powerful life. It's really amazing. That's why we get married. That's why we struggle through life. But the people who have suffered the most are usually people who are the most alive. I want to read you just a few quotes to finish, because they are. But by the way, Egypt, that's what Egypt is. Egypt it's being narrow. It's like the body. We're confined in something. So the soul is confined. We're fighting to go against it. The Pharaoh is these forces that just want you to just do things, just follow. It says Pharaoh made us busy, no time to think. Just do things, just follow the flow. Just like the media. So what's the quote? It says, life starts at the beginning of your comfort zone. That's by Wax. It says, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly, right? We have the whole thing. We think we're dying. We think it's difficult, and from that comes the most beautiful thing. From the pregnancy, from the birth, it comes a baby. So that's the closest. So I think that should be enough. It makes you understand why we eat matzah. We try to reconnect to the true self. The true self. My essence is water and flour. It's soul, and I'm gonna have to fight with that. For 7 days reconnect to the true self, and we know we're gonna fight our nature, and then we have 7 weeks of the Omer where we fight our inclination and the physical to eventually be able to unite heaven and earth, spiritual and physical, soul and body. And that's when we receive the Torah, God coming down from heaven into this world where there's a complete unity, where we are we're fighting so much into the physical. The physical becomes part of the spiritual, and we elevate everything, and we're alive forever. Chag Sameach.